Which candidate for president will bankrupt America first? Trump or Biden?
We're going to invest $1.7 trillion.
This video and our next one compare each candidate's plans for giving Americans free stuff.
Quadruple the funding.
Before the Democrats chose Joe Biden, we tallied the costs of the leading candidate's promises.
My plan costs $1.5 trillion.
At that time, Biden, to his credit, promised the least amount of new spending. Sadly, his new running mate was the one who promised the most.
Let's do this!
Her extravagant spending plans didn't help her. She fell in the polls and dropped out. But once Biden secured the delegates, he increased his spending plans.
We will mobilize the biggest investment in rebuilding our country since World War II.
Wait a second. I was told Democrats go left during the primaries.
To appeal to Democratic primary voters, you do have to go farther to the left.
And then come back to the middle to try to win the presidency.
Not this time.
Joe Biden has been lurching to the left on federal spending for years, first as senator, then as vice president, and now as a presidential candidate.
Pete Sepp runs the National Taxpayers Union. For years, they've rated politicians by how responsibly or irresponsibly they spend your money.
Tax, spend, and borrow is going to bankrupt the nation.
Joe Biden's $2 trillion climate proposal.
Biden increased his climate spending so much you'd think Al Gore had won.
Invest $1 trillion in green infrastructure. Cash rebates, low-cost financing, upgrade energy and efficient appliances, 500,000 charging stations.
For $500 billion a year for 4 years.
$1 trillion in green infrastructure.
This is the way that governments grow, at the expense of the American people.
So they spend it, and so what? We'll have more infrastructure. Great.
What we won't have is infrastructure that's efficient or effective. We'll have holes in the ground and mass transit that people won't ride.
Biden also wants billions more for caregivers, for children and the elderly.
That's a good thing, right?
Why not leave more money in people's pockets to begin with so they can afford to take care of their families? We as taxpayers know better how to take care of our families and ourselves than some distant government in Washington, D.C.
Biden would also spend $64 billion more on housing subsidies.
Housing should be a right for people.
A right to housing. Well, the Constitution does give us the right to free speech, free exercise of religion. Why not a right to housing and college and health care? They're important too. But there's one key difference. A right to free speech just means government leaves us alone. But a right to housing or college or health care means government forcibly takes money from some and gives it to others. That's very different. Biden's new spending proposals now total more than $1 trillion a year.
We can't afford it, and we especially can't afford it now. Sooner or later, every nation faces a fiscal reckoning, and Joe Biden's policies, if enacted in full, are going to draw that reckoning closer.
Well, we've been taxing and spending and borrowing, and except for COVID, we were doing well.
Deficits and debt don't matter until suddenly, spectacularly, they do. And no one knows when doomsday will happen until it already has. Ask the folks in Greece. Ask the folks in Weimar, Germany.
If you earned $2 million in the morning but wanted to buy bread in the afternoon, you'd have to pay $2 billion.
Deficits and debt destroy economic growth. It's going to hurt the American people, and it's coming.
Are President Trump's spending plans better than Biden's? We'll cover that in my next video. I hope you find these videos helpful. If you'd like us to make more, please help us make more. Press that button.